Everything is energy. What you see as matter is just a different form of energy, but it was always energy. Why? If you take the atom apart, it's not made out of physical pieces. The basic fundamental building block of an atom is an energy vortex, like a nano tornado of energy. Okay, so why is this important? Because it was understood that the energy field is what is the controlling factor of matter. The energy is the sole governing agency of the particle, the consciousness, the energy, the spirituality. It's the mind and spirituality that are creating all of our life experiences. You want to change the world, you don't change the physical world, you change the mind or you change the spirituality, and that changes the world. It's an easier job than grab a hammer and a shovel, go out there and fix the world. I say, no, stay inside, fix your head. The world will change from that point on. And that's where our power comes from. We are creators. And yet, if we're creators, then how come the world is in the situation it is? And the answer is, let me summarize it. The brain is a computer. Yes, no question. It is the most advanced computer that humans have ever experienced. I go, so what? I said, but it functions like any computer. I go, what does that mean? I say, in the old days we would buy a computer. It didn't come with a program. You bought a computer, you came home, you plugged it in, you push start, the screen lights up. We say, the computer is booted up. Now I say, you got a brand new computer, do something. You go, I can't. I said, we got a brand new computer. You say, no, not until I put programs into the hard drive can I access that computer. I go, oh, guess what? The subconscious mind is the hard drive. And until you put programs in the subconscious mind, you can't access the neurocomputer of your brain. So I say, well, when do you get the programs? I go, the first 7 years of your life. How did you get the program? The first 7 years of your life, your brain vibration wasn't operating at the level of consciousness. Your brain was operating at a lower level than consciousness called theta. I say your brain of a child under 7 is in theta. That's characterized by imagination. Yeah, the kid's on a broom, but not riding a broom, riding a live horse. And that's where the consciousness with imagination theta takes them. The mother says, give me the broom. They look at the mother like, I don't know what you're talking about, because it's not a broom. In theta, it is now a horse. Okay? Theta is imagination. But theta is hypnosis. I go, that was the most important part of human development for this reason. How many rules do you have to know to be a member of a family? How many rules do you have to know to be a functional member of a community and a culture? You got to know thousands of rules. I go, is an infant going to go to school and read a book and sit in the classroom? I go, an infant can't do that. But you got to learn these thousands of rules pretty young to join the community. Nature created the first 7 years of a child's brain to be operating in the vibrational state called theta, imagination. It's not consciousness yet. That's a higher vibration. That kicks in around 7. And I say, what is theta? Hypnosis. I say, how'd you get a program? You watched. You watched your mother, you watched your father, you watched your community, and in watching them, it was like a video recorder. Your brain recorded the behavior. You recorded the behavior of other people to know the rules of what the behavior are. I go, great. So your programming came from where? Watching other people. First question. Did they have the same wishes and desires as you have in your life, or are they operating from different principles? I go, well, they're not operating the same as you. And all of a sudden it says, well, maybe their behavior that you've downloaded is behavior that's not going to support you. And it turns out, 60% of the behavior we download from our parents and our community take away our power. They limit us, disempower us, self-sabotage us with programs that don't let us go to where we want to go. There are limitations. So I go, so what? That's the subconscious, because now that I'm 7, I get to type on the keyboard and put my information in, so I want to create my life. So the conscious mind is different than the subconscious. The subconscious is just hard drive program. Nobody's in the subconscious, just program, hard drive. The conscious mind is creative, the one that's connected to your spirituality. It's got wishes and desires. I go, great. So if I'm operating from my conscious mind, then I'm manifesting wishes and desires. I go, true. And then I say, well, how come the world is so screwed up, and how come I'm not experiencing heaven on earth? Because that's what I would like to have. I say, and here's the answer. The conscious mind can do 2 different things. I go, what? It could look out your eyes like looking out the windshield of a vehicle, and your body is the vehicle, and the conscious mind is driving you to your wishes and your desires. I go, yeah, conscious mind will do that. But then I said, but the conscious mind can do something else. And I go, what else? I said, it can think. And you go, what the hell does that have to do with it? When you're looking at the world and looking through your eyes and driving in that world, you're controlling the vehicle. But when you're thinking, you're not looking out. Thinking is looking in. A thought is on the inside. The moment you're thinking, your conscious mind is not looking out the window. I said, what if you're driving the car and you were thinking about, when I get to the store, I'm going to do this? The moment you were thinking about what you were going to do, you were no longer driving the car. I go, what do you mean? Your conscious mind wasn't looking out the window anymore. It was looking inside. Yeah, but the car was still going. You didn't kill anybody. You went the speed limit. Everything was, you got to where you were going. I go, because the subconscious programs are called autopilot. What you're not paying attention to, the subconscious can run below your level of consciousness. So you were driving the car, not with your conscious mind, you were driving with the program. You learned how to drive the car. It's a program driving the car. Let the subconscious do it. 1,000,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind anyway. So what's the point? When we are thinking, the autopilot subconscious takes over our behavior, because the conscious mind is no longer paying attention when it's thinking. And then I go, and what does science tell us about this? And the answer is this. 95% of your life is the amount of time you spend thinking. So I then say, stop. It's the conscious mind that is creative, but if the conscious mind is thinking, it's the subconscious that runs the show. I go, yes. In other words, are you living the life you want, or are you living the program? And the answer is 95% of the day you're living the program because you're thinking. And I say, why is this an issue? It's because you've been programmed. And the programming controls the character of your life. And the programming is, most of it is to take away your power. And we become powerless in this program, and the program takes over. And it says if you're weak, then you become weak. If it says you have stress, then you have stress. The program will tell you what your life is. You don't tell the program tells you. So are you running your life? Well, conclusion, the Matrix movie is not science fiction, it's a documentary. I go, why? What's the premise? We all got programmed. I go, that's not a premise, that's a scientific reality. We're all programmed up through age 7 while our mind is in theta. But I said, what else? Well, you can get out of the program with a red pill. We get out of the program. What happens when we get out of the program? Then you become the creator. I go, guess what? Almost everybody out there has taken that red pill at least once, and your life changed within about 24 hours. You took a red pill? Yes. Science has recognized a very important fact. When people fall in love, it's the same as the red pill. I go, why? Because when you fall in love, you stop thinking, and you stay present. You stay what is called mindful. I go, so why is that important? Well, the program only plays when you're thinking. What happens if you're not thinking? Now you have control. Your conscious mind has the wishes and desires. So what do you think happened when you fell in love? You created heaven on earth. You created joy, happiness, love, sensations. Everything was so beautiful. I love being in love. I go, guess what? When you were in love, you stopped playing the programs and then you manifested an experience that we call the honeymoon, which is heaven on earth. I go, guess what? Well, that was always available to you. The only reason you've done the experience is because you've been playing the program 95% of the day. I go, I'm a creator, but I'm not creating wishes and desires. I'm creating the program. And the other people created the programs that we follow. And I say, oh, this is new science? I go, no. 400 years. The Jesuits have told their followers exactly what the science has now recognized. And I say, what was it? The Jesuits said, give me a child until it is 7, I will show you the man. What did they know? 7 years was program period. After age 7, 95% of your life is the program. What they recognize is if I can program your first 7 years, I own the rest of your life. And that's when they created Catholic school. Why? Program them to be Catholic. The rest of their life, they'll be Catholic whether they want to or not because they're running from the program anyway. I go, well, that was 400 years ago. Programming is much more sophisticated today than the Jesuits could have ever imagined. All I have to tell you is watch an infant that could barely walk with an iPad and playing on the computer. An infant can't even walk playing on an iPad. Well, now, man, you see in today's version of programming. And the issue about that is what? We are programmed much more effectively than even the Jesuits could have done it. We are programmed to create the world that our programmers want. Corporate interests. Give us your money. Give us your effort. Give us that. We'll take it. And I go, this is exactly what the problem is that who is giving us the program? Well, unfortunately, religion was the first one to give us programs. I go, what was the issue? Separation. Muslims, different program. Christians, different program. Jews, different programs. What? They're competitive programs. They separated us. I go, you know what was the point? Nobody stopped? We all came from the same source. We all are spiritual entities. It's the programming of separation that is destroying our civilization. It's the program of Darwin that says life is based on competition with winners and losers. And there's no morality. You can win any way you want to win, whether you have a big brain or an Uzi. Which one's going to win? Whoever wins, wins. Is there morality? Nope. It's whoever is the last one standing. That's the winner. So we live in a world where we've been programmed to compete with each other, not with the idea of beating the other one, survival of the fittest in the struggle for life. That's the program. Is life a struggle? Not until we make it so. Life was a garden. That's where we came from. A garden is not a battleground. A garden, by definition, is the height of community. We have broken our relationship with the garden, and in fact, are destroying the garden, which gave rise to us. And that's why our evolution is facing a very serious critical juncture. Either we learn to live in harmony with this environment, or we will not be able to exist, because the environment will change and will not support us. And then when we're gone, guess what? The environment come back to the original garden again. It's done that a lot. Chernobyl. After the explosion in the reactor, people are not allowed there. So what has happened since people have been excluded from that zone, the zone of exclusion? What happened in that Chernobyl area? The forest completely regrew. Guess what? They're even growing out of all the buildings, from the roof, out of the windows. The buildings are just ground substance for the new trees, the new forest that's there. There are more wildlife animals in Chernobyl than anywhere else in the former Soviet Union. Nature has taken back its creation because humans are not there. And then recognize the rest of the world's dying because humans are there. That's where the problem comes from. And it's a wake-up call.
Yeah, I was there when the Chernobyl happened, 1986 in April. I was in the university, and we didn't know about that for several days because it was a secret. Because we were outside, and it was raining, and it was not far, about 500 kilometers from Kiev. But anyway, my next question is this. You said that we are in love. When we are in love, we are in the present. And if we are in the present, we stop playing the programs.
Yes.
So that means that then we are peaceful and happy.
Yes.
That's actually the heaven on earth. When we stop thinking, rethinking all these programs, we are in heaven. This is what meditation is. This is what to be in the present. And in love, when you are in love, you are in the present.
Yes. Because when you are not thinking, but being, living, you are not playing a program. Now the creation is coming from not the subconscious, but the conscious. But what's that one? Wishes and desires. What do you want? It comes when you're operating from the conscious mind, not from the subconscious mind. Unless your programs in the subconscious are the same wishes and desires that the conscious mind holds. Because if both the conscious and subconscious have programs that manifest wishes and desires, then you win. I said, what do you mean? I said, you don't even have to pay attention. Your subconscious running 95% of the day will make sure you end up in the wishes and desires because that's what the program is. Right now, your program is controlling you you're not participating, you're just responding to the program that's coming out. And the idea is, well, if the program was very positive, then the same thing. No effort to end up in the garden. No effort to be healthy and happy and live a wonderful experience on this planet when we're not playing those programs that we got downloaded with in the first 7 years.
Now, if love is opposite of stress, how do you exactly describe love? Do we need a family to love? Do we need
No,
husband
very
or a
important.
wife? So, what we can be alone and still be in a state of love.
Yes, as a matter of fact, the hardest problem on this planet is because of programming. And I'll give you a fact, and that is this. From 80 to 90% of the general population, if you tested for the belief, I love myself, 80 to 90% of the people will not test positive. I go, why? Well, because when we grew up, we were being criticized by our parents. Not good enough, not smart enough, blah, blah, blah. I said, parents thought, oh, you're going to do better if I tell you you're not doing good, then you'll make an effort to do better. And I go, if a child's under 7 years old, they don't even understand what the hell you're talking about. They're just recording. What did they record? I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not deserving. I said, where'd that go? The parent was trying to uplift the kid, but under age 7, the kid is not operating from consciousness. They're in hypnosis. So they downloaded the criticisms. We all downloaded the criticisms as a child. And every criticism we download is part of the program, which is then running 95% of the day. So if we have a negative criticism in our life, then 95% of the day we are manifesting that negative behavior. And this is the whole issue of taking it back. But the problem is, and this is an issue, it's like, well, what are the programs? I go, what do you mean? Well, I say, look, you were programmed 3 months before you were born. Tell me what program you got. I don't know. You weren't there. Oh, wait, you were programmed a whole year from 0 to 1. Tell me the program you got when you were 0. I don't know. Wasn't there. Hey, wait, you were programmed another whole year, from 1 to 2. Tell me the program you got when you were 1. And all of a sudden, it's an important point. You don't really know what your programs are, because your programs were installed before you were aware. Around age 3, you might have memories of behavioral programs that were put into the system. You had experiences that you can remember, but you can't tell me the program before you were born or the program when you were 0. And so this becomes a problem for the average person. I say, why? Well, you're programmed and you don't even know what the hell the program is. I go, aha! But there is an answer, Sergey. And I love it because the answer is simple. I say, what is it? 95% of your life is the expression of the program. Your life is a printout of your program. I go, really? I go, yeah. I say, simple. Look at your life right now, and here's a fact. The things you like that come into your life, well, they come in because you have a program to acknowledge those things and recognize them. Great. But the things that you wish for, desire, struggle over, put a lot of effort, I'm working hard, I'm going to get this, I'm going to make it happen, I'm going to make it, I want this, I'm going to work hard. Why are you working so hard? And the answer is very simple. Whatever destination you're trying to get to, the point about it is you don't have a program to get there. Your program will probably cancel trying to get there, and then you're trying to overwrite the program. You say, I'll work hard. I go, that's not how you change a program. That doesn't work. It just irritates the hell out of you because you're working hard and you're not making a difference. And the issue is why? That's not how you change a program. And so working hard just means I have a program, but I'm hoping that I could override it. I go, well, that's wishful thinking. Not necessarily true, but that's the biggest problem. And so I say, so what are your programs? The answer is very simple. Look at your life. Things you like that come in, you have a program to acknowledge them. The things you wish for and desire and you can't get there, you have programs that prevent you from getting there. Now you know where you want to work. Is it relationships, health, job, money? These are things that we try to attain. And if you're having any problem experiencing one of those, it's not because you can't have it. It's because your program doesn't support it, and then you struggle. And that's where life struggles come from.
So,
Yeah.
childhood programming.
Yes.
That's very important. Now, how do we rewire our thinking? How do we change our subconsciousness to programming so we don't follow those childhood programs?
And here, that's the most important question. Of course, that's the resolution of everything. I say, if I can change the program, I can rewrite my life. I can put in programs that are positive instead of negative, then I can have positive without even thinking about it. It just happened when I'm thinking. The program will get me that. I go, so how do you get a program is how you change a program. Big mistake by a lot of people. They say, I'm going to give myself a talking to. I'm going to talk to myself. I'm going to change that program. Okay, Bruce, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. I'm talking. And then the joke is, I said, well, you're talking. I said, who are you talking to? Oh, I'm talking to the subconscious program. I go, aha. It's a hard drive. There's nobody in there. It's a program. I say, you think you can change the hard drive? I say, talk to your computer and tell the computer you want a different program. Tell it, change the program. Talk to it. How long of talking to the computer before it changes? And the answer, it never will change. Why? Because nobody in there listening to you. So the first issue is this. How can you change a program? Using the same process that created the program. I say, so what was that? I'm going to talk about 2 natural processes. I say, how did you get the program in the first 7 years? And the answer, you were in a state of theta hypnosis. I go, so if you want to change the program, what do you think you have to do? Go into theta and do hypnosis. I go, that's how you got the program. That's how you can change the program. The question is, must I see a therapist, a hypnotherapist? I go, no. You know why? Every night when you go to bed, the process of consciousness lowers and lowers the vibration from your work day till you're sleeping. At work, or hopefully right now, you're working at a higher vibration called beta, which is like schoolroom consciousness, thinking and processing. When you go home and you relax, the vibration of the brain goes to a lower vibration called alpha. Well, that's called calm consciousness. That's the peaceful consciousness when you're relaxing. And then I say, yeah, but the moment you fall asleep, consciousness is disconnected. That's what falling asleep is. Conscious mind is not operating. It's off. Why? The vibration is lower than consciousness. It's not operating. The next lower vibration after alpha, the calm consciousness, is theta. And then that even goes to the next lower vibration, delta, which is absolute unconscious sleeping. So I say, so what was the point? Well, every day, just after you fall asleep, there's a moment where the subconscious is in theta, which is hypnosis. So I say, so what? Well, put earbuds in your ears or earphones on and play a program that you want to be true in your life. They're called self-help programs. You get them at bookstores and things like that. Put a program on to enhance the thing you want. I say, why would I do that? I say, well, at first, you're going to hear the program when you turn it on because you're still conscious. But the moment you fall asleep, that program is not coming into the conscious mind. That's sleeping. But that program is now playing into theta, the subconscious mind. So it's called self-hypnosis. You go to bed, you play the program. When's it working? When you're sleeping? That's the cool part. How much work do you got to do? Fall asleep. Because the moment you fall asleep, then theta is in operation. It's not a very long period of time, and that's why you have to repeat the process for a number of times. But all you have to do is put the earphones, earbuds, listen to the program, fall asleep, and while you're sleeping, the first number of minutes after you fell asleep, the subconscious is in a state of hypnosis and is downloading the program. So, number one, you want to change the program? Get in a theta, because that was the way you created the program. Number two, you got programs after age 7. Yeah, you learned how to drive a car. You learned how to play a music instrument. You learned how to do some complex job. I say, how'd you learn that? Practice. Repetition. You want to play an instrument? Practice it. Play it every day. You want to drive a car? Practice. Drive it. I say, why? Practice as repetition is the second way to create a program. Practice something different. Live something different. If you're very unhappy, I say, what would you do to make yourself happy? I say, all day long, to yourself, as many times as you can say it, I am happy. No matter, I don't care how miserable you are, that's not the point. What are you doing? I'm putting a program in, I am happy. Well, when does the program happen? When you repeat it enough, it becomes a habit. And that means there's that day you wake up, you didn't even have to say I'm happy. Because once the program is installed, you woke up happy. Okay? So, habituation, it's called making a habit. Repetition, practice, something different. And you become something different. I talk about actors that are so good. They don't memorize lines. They got that. But they memorize the character of the person they're playing and become the character of the person they're playing. One of the great movies in revealing an actor, Joaquin Phoenix played in The Joker, a more recent movie. He became the Joker. People around him said, oh my God, it wasn't just when he was on the set. He was the Joker character. That he became that Joker character. People are like, wow, trying to deal with him, he's like insane. He goes, yeah, well, he was basically creating insanity. Dustin Hoffman played in a play on Broadway called Death of a Salesman. I go, what? Well, the main character, Willie Loman, has a depressed character, totally depressed. Well, in the middle of the run, Dustin Hoffman, who is a magnificent actor, played Willy Loman so good that Dustin Hoffman had to go to a neurological hospital because of depression. He became Willy Loman. Renee Zellweger played the Diary of Bridget Jones. The character Bridget Jones, 40 pounds heavier than Renee. Guess what? Renee gained 40 pounds when she was in character. And the day the movie finished shooting, she lost 40 pounds and came back to be Renee again. And what's the point of all these? An actor puts in their mind a character they want to be. Not necessarily what they want to be, what they have to be to fit in the story, okay? Well, what's the point? And I say, well, you can be an actor. Change what you want to be. And then practice it as if you're practicing for a role in a movie. And you practice that behavior. And the more you practice that behavior, the more it becomes a habit. And when it's a habit, no more practice necessary. You can just get into character anytime you want and be there as long as you want. Those are two natural ways, self-hypnosis and habituation. That's how you got your programs, okay? And yet, we're facing an evolutionary crisis in a very short time. We're either going to survive or we're going to die because the planet can no longer support us unless we change the way we're living. So there's an old saying, necessity is the mother of invention. We have a necessity to change fast. There's a new psychology. Psychology? Yes, it's called energy psychology. It's not your mom's psychology. It's not you go in and talk about, well, your mom said this and your dad did that and your best friend did this and you cry and you got tissues and you repeat the life. I go, a waste of time, if not worse than a waste of time, because as you repeat it, you make the program deeper. So the whole idea is going back over what caused you to have a program, the messenger, and you beat up the messenger and say, the messenger's not here anymore. The people who gave you those messages, they're not here anymore. To talk about them is to bring them back into the picture. I go, no, you have a program, you download it. Do I need to kill the messenger? I say, no, you want to change the message. You don't change it by killing the messenger. They're gone. So what's the point? The new psychology says, what's your program? Well, we already talked about looking at your program. It's a printout of your life. It says you want to change the program? I go, yeah. Well, there are ways to change the subconscious mind using something like super learning. What the hell is super learning? A child under 7 is a super learner. Let's just say, for coincidence, a child under 7 grows up in a family where there are 3 different languages spoken. You know what? By age 7, the kid will have downloaded each of those 3 languages as separate entities and can speak in each one of them. And I say, now that kid is, let's say, 12 years old. I say, try and teach it 1 new language. And all of a sudden it's like, now it's a job. Now it's a hardship. It's not the same learning. I go, yes, a child under 7 is in a super learning state. All it has to do is experience something once and it can remember it for the rest of its life. It can download it. Boom. It's done. That's it. After age 7, we're not in that super learning state. And it has to do with the hemispheres of the brain. There's the left hemisphere, which is associated with words. It's the one that knows the details. Left hemisphere is intellectual, details, words. Right hemisphere is emotions, experiences, pictures, okay? When a child is under 7, both hemispheres are working simultaneously, so every experience of a child has an intellectual component and an emotional component. When we download these, it's the emotional component that interferes with the rest of our life. I go, why? Because if you can erase the emotional component, then the behavior of that emotion is no longer affecting your life experience. In reprogramming those 7 years of programs, you don't try to eliminate the learning because you'll have to relearn it again intellectually. You don't have to re-experience that again. What you want to do is shut off the emotion so it doesn't flavor your future life, which it's doing now. So many of these energy psychology modalities give you the opportunity to erase the emotion, but not erase the experience. Because if you erase the experience, then you have to relearn the experience. That wouldn't be helpful. But if you erase the emotion, then the previous life experiences don't color the way we are living today, because there's no longer an emotion connected with that. I have on my website, and let's start with a very simple fact. The website is brucelipton.com. That's the website, brucelipton.com. Under, in the menu, there's a choice of changing belief, modalities to change belief. And I've listed about 25 different ways of using energy psychology that can rewrite your life. And I say, well, how fast does some of them work? And I can tell you some of them work, and I know from personal experience, in 15 minutes. You can change a belief in 15 minutes. But you have to get back into a super learning state. I say, what was the difference? Before age 7, right and left hemispheres, intellect and emotion are connected. After age 7, they're physically there, but they're not working at the same time. During the day, sometimes you're more emotional, and a few hours later you're more intellectual, and then a few hours later you're more emotional. It's a wave called ultra-radiant wave. I go, what's the point? You're not in both hemispheres at the same time. But in some of these psychology places, energy psychology, such as the one I use, Psych-K, you get into a physical posture that reactivates right and left hemispheres. And when you're in that physical posture, guess what? You become a super learner. And while you're in that posture, you can change a program and walk away 15 minutes later with a new program using a super learning technology. Okay? And see, so significance is you can use self-hypnosis. You can use habituation, practice, practice, practice. Or you can tune into a version of energy psychology that will help you rapidly download a new program. And as fast as the one I've seen is like Psych-K, 10, 15 minutes and your program is rewritten, you walk away a different person. And this is nature's gift that says, look, we have to change our belief systems, and we have to change them relatively fast, because we're facing a distinct ending time. And to survive this, we have to let go of the limitation, the programs that say we have no power, the programs that have fully disempowered us. Because I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. Okay? I believe in spirituality. But Jesus was a teacher, and he told us something that people have heard and never actually followed up on. I go, what was it? He said, all the miracles that I can do, you can do them even better than I can, but you don't believe. Well, the church took that statement and added, and you don't believe in me, Jesus. So they say, oh, come to Jesus, come to Jesus. I go, no, Jesus didn't mean that. Jesus said, you don't believe what I'm telling you. You don't believe the message. The message is you're a powerful creator. We all can create these miracles, but you don't believe you can create them, and therefore you can't. And the church swung that around as, no, first you believe in Jesus, then you can do it. And I go, no, first you believe in what Jesus said, then you can do it. And that was the point. We are creators. We're unfortunately been programmed to create things that not help us in any way whatsoever. In fact, disempower us. And the reality is, we have to wake up, and people are unaware that they play a program. Why? Well, why are you playing a program? Because your conscious mind's not paying attention. Then I go, so why is that important? Well, if you're not paying attention, then you're the one that's not even seeing your own behavior. You're not seeing your own program because you're not paying attention. You're inside thinking. This results in the story I've told for 40 years. You have a friend, you know your friend's behavior, and you happen to know your friend's parent. And one day you see your friend has the same behavior as the parent has. So you get excited. You go, "Hey, Bill, you're just like your dad." I say, back away from Bill. Because I can tell you what he responded to. The moment you said he was just like his father, he responded in this. He said, "How can you compare me to my father? I am nothing like my father." I go, "Wow, everybody else can see that Bill behaves like his father. Who's the one that can't see it?" "Bill." And then I go, "Guess what? Here's the fun part. We are all Bill." We're doing this all the time until you wake up. And then you look at your life and you say, "I don't like that program." And I said, "Then what?" I said, "Then you have the power to change that program." And when you change that program, you become the creator that you were when you were born into this world before somebody said you were not the creator. You get your power back. And when you get that power back, you have a choice. You can live the life you're living with all the problems in it, or you can fall in love. Does it have to be with a person? Oh, I need to emphasize that. No. Being in love means you're engaging something that keeps your mind in the present moment. You're not thinking. You can be a chef and you're creating a meal. You can be an artist and you're creating a painting. You can be a gardener and you're planting a garden. You can have a pet and hang out with your pet. What was the point? Whatever stops you from thinking gives you the power to be the creator. And it doesn't have to be with another person. And that's important because all of a sudden I have to say it's done with another person. Say, "I can't find a partner." I go, "No, you don't need a partner. You just need to be happy doing something that you love to do. You do it because you stay present. When you're planting the garden, you're not thinking about the job. When you're cooking that meal that's going to blow people's minds, you're not thinking about the health issues at this moment. You're engaging in things you love to do. Love is the basis. It's what you love. And then you're out of the program. So being in love just means you stop thinking long enough to start engaging the creative wishes and desires of the conscious mind.
Yes, that's why people who are doing what they love in their lives, they're more content, they're more focused, and they're more happy. Because they
Absolutely.
love what they do every day. Even if it's hard, you do it every day, but you enjoy it.
You enjoy it because you are the creator and you know you're the creator doing this. I'm not doing this by accident. I'm doing this by intention. I want to do this. Oh, you want to do it. It's not you have to do it. You want to do it. That's a different game.
Right.
You have to do it. That's the rule. You do it. I go, well, screw the rules. I'd rather do what I want to do. And that's what my life has been for 40 years since I recognized it. 40 years of life living the programs of limitation. And since I understood the nature of the program and changed the program, I've had 40 years of living the life of wishes and desires. And I want to tell you, I firmly understand I'm not dying going to heaven. I came here to create heaven. And my creation is an experience of heaven by not engaging in the programs that took me out of my power. And I am creating heaven. I live the honeymoon every day of my life for 40 years.
Now, Bruce, I want to ask you something about religious, because you mentioned a few minutes ago that every religion is a program. But then, just a couple minutes ago, you said that you are not a religious person, you are spiritual. Now,
Yes.
my question is this. Spiritual people, they may not believe, but they accept all religions. Like they say in the Indian philosophy, as all...
That's no separation.
Yeah,
That was the point.
yeah,
Spiritual people do not see separation.
yeah,
They see wholeness.
yeah. Like they say in the Indian philosophy that as all the rivers come down from the mountains and they end up in in the same ocean, the same way all religions they come to the same God.
Well, not to the same God, because one religion says that religion's God's not the real one. So we didn't come to the same God. They have their God. Our God is a different one. Even to the extent, which makes me laugh, is that in Ireland, let's say, the Catholics and the Protestants fight each other, and they're both Christians. And Christians are supposed to be peace loving followers of Jesus. I say, well, how do two religions based on the peace of Jesus end up fighting each other? Ah, programs and beliefs, my friend. And yet they both recognize the same teacher, and they both recognize the teaching, and yet they both fight each other.
That happens in America too, because there's a lot of denominations, Christianity. There's 7 Day Saints or something. I don't remember. It's a lot of them, Protestants and evangelical, and they all have the different churches. You cannot go to that church.
But this is the problem. You know, there's a great song. One of the more brilliant songs was from John Lennon, and the song is called Imagine. He said, imagine a world without government. Imagine a world without religion. People got mad at him for saying that, and I go, no, he was right. Because religion says, I'm different than you are. I go, no, you're not different than I am. We're both human beings here on the same planet, coming from the same source and doing this life on this planet. When you say I'm different, you're trying to say that we're not the same people. I go, well, that's the problem, because evolution is the community coming together, not the individual. Evolution doesn't give a damn about the survival of the fittest. Evolution cares about what is the whole collective community doing. And right now, the collective community is destroying the planet, so nature's a little upset with our evolution at this moment, because we're not working in harmony with nature. And there are belief systems that take us out of nature. And I go, well, you can't ever get out of nature. We are nature. We came from nature. That's our source. You get rid of the source, we can't be here. That was the whole idea. Oh, we'll go live on Mars. We'll go, like, what a bunch of baloney that stuff is. We're not leaving. Who's going to leave? Oh, rocket ship. How many? Oh, 20 people. Goodbye, 20 people. You know, it's like, no, we're not leaving. I say, must we leave? I say, no. Because what we have recognized is when we stop manifesting our control over nature, nature takes the control back and creates the garden again. I say the garden's here, we just have to stop interfering with it. We don't have to leave this planet, we just have to support this planet. And the idea of leaving is, well, that's our escape after we destroy it. And I go, stop destroying it. We don't have to leave. It regenerates. And get rid of that. Oh, can I get on the spaceship and go? I go, we're living some stupid desert like on the moon. It's a desert. What the hell you want to live there for, you know? The whole idea is like, there's nothing more beautiful than planet Earth. And the whole idea that aliens think it is beautiful, they come and visit. And the idea is, well, then you better damn well enjoy it, because it's a creation. I love my creation. Okay? And my creation is because I'm not buying the story that the conventional people are buying by watching the news and seeing how victim they are about the world, and how diseases kill them, and how viruses kill them, and you're just a weak nothing, and you're a victim, and poor you. And I go, that's a bunch of, I'm going to say it, bullshit. Because the reality is you are the creator, but you don't act as a creator because your programming didn't give you the knowledge of how to be the creator. Knowledge is power. A lack of knowledge is a lack of power. What you don't know disempowers you. And what is called a misperception, something you think you know, but is wrong, is disempowering. For example, Darwinian theory. That takes us into a fighting mob looking for who's the biggest badass in the mob because that will be the winner competing, okay? We buy the stories of you're no power at all, you're just a victim, and therefore take my drugs because my drugs will help you because you're absolutely broken and your body needs my chemistry. I go, bunch of belief system, BS. That is also wrong. We don't need the drugs. The drugs are actually creating a bigger problem than anything because if a drug works, it only works because we also make an equivalent of that drug in our body. And that's why the drug coming from the outside could work in the body. Well, if I can make the equivalent of that drug, then the question is, why am I not making the equivalent? The answer is, what's your program? If your program's healthy, you live a healthy thing. If your program doesn't include health in it, you can die from any kind of rotten, stupid disease from what? Not even taking care of yourself. And so it's a wake-up call for the world. You are a creator. If you don't like the creation, you have to recognize it's not coming from your wishes and desires, it's coming from your program. You want to change the creation, change your consciousness, which in turn changes the program, and then you can manifest the life you want. And this is why I trust the common person on the street to manifest their personal heaven, because we all are going to share the same functional beliefs of heaven, but it's not the beliefs of the government, it's not the belief of the corporations. They want to control you. And the idea is, no, I trust my neighbor. If they get happy, I'm going to be happy with them. But I don't necessarily trust the makers of the program.
Yeah. So to summarize, how we reprogram ourselves is, I'm just going to quote you again, but correct me if I'm wrong, is to tell yourself all the time the same thing, positive, like say you want to be healthy, you say I'm healthy, I'm great and all that, or in the evening at night you listen to some affirmations or something that is, empowers you and writes a different program, a new program in our brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then lastly, we are being helped by the new model of psychology called energy psychology, which helps us rewrite a program in a very rapid time period. And the issue is, I don't want to change the world, I want to change the program. If I change the world, I'm out there in the street trying to fix things. I say, that's not going to work. I have to change my belief about this world before I go out there and fix the world. In fact, I remember the old hippie days. You know, there was a saying in the old hippie days that said, before you go out and change the world, take care of your own backyard. Meaning, before we become a crusader to go out, you better make sure your life is in a great place before you become the crusader to help other people to get their life in a great place. So we have to take care of ourselves first. And this is why I always love it. I give the example. You're in an airplane, they're giving instructions about, well, if there's problem in the atmosphere, the mask, the oxygen mask will drop from the ceiling. I go, yeah. And what do they say? They say, put your mask on first before helping somebody else. Why? Because if you are not in a condition to help, then you're useless. So first you have to be able to help. You have to take care of yourself so you can help the other people. This is what our revolution is about. I can't go out and change people and tell them to fix their lives if my life is not working that good. And that's what I learned, as I said in the very beginning. I would tell people, oh my God, here's how you create the most fabulous life. And they look at me and go, but your life doesn't look that good. And I realized, how can I be a model for how to do it if I'm not doing it? Ha! I had to become the person. I had to become the behavior, not talk about the behavior. I had to express the behavior. And once I was able to do that, my life changed. And then people looked at me and go, yeah, I like what you're thinking. I like your life. That's pretty cool. I want that one. I go, yeah, we can all have it.
Okay, now you mentioned that our mind, our brain is a computer.
Yes.
So computer basically is an AI, artificial intelligence, the computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how will AI affect our life in the near future? Is going to exceed our own computers, or is going to be we're still going to be in control?
Well, there are different aspects of what you're asking the computer to do. Okay? There are things that the computer can out-process our mind. But it can only process what you put into the program. So all of a sudden it's like, well, then people didn't get eliminated from the same people put the program in there. And I go, well, then you're still connected to the AI. You put the program in there. They have an AI, the health line. Oh, yeah. Look, I have this issue. Yeah, look, get online. Oh, look what it says I should do. And I go, who put that resolution into the computer? The pharmaceutical company? Oh, yeah, take this drug. That's all you have to do. It's like, who put that solution in there? It didn't come from the machine. It came from somebody who programmed the machine.
Right. Yeah.
And all of a sudden I say, well, that's why online health could really screw you up, because if you believe some of the stuff that medicine is talking about, it's not going to help you. It's going to make things worse. You mean medicine can make things worse? Sergey, let me give you a fact that was twice proven in scientific journals. Once in the Journal of the American Medical Association and once in the British Medical Journal. And what was the study? The effectiveness of modern allopathic medicine in the United States. I go, what do you mean? The research revealed that medicine, allopathic medicine in the United States, is the third leading cause of death. The first cause of death is cardiovascular disease. The second major cause of death is cancer. And the third one has a Latin name, so nobody understands what the hell it is. It's called iatrogenic illness. What the hell is iatrogenic illness? Illness as a result of medical treatment.
Malpractice.
And the problem is, the third leading cause of death is medicine. Should I buy their suggestion in an AI program that they programmed? I go, hell no, they're killing me now. Why the hell would I put it in and read it because it said AI said I should do this? AI didn't say I should do it. Somebody put the program in there that AI said I should do it. Now it's the programmer, not the program, that we have to be cautious about. And we're changing the world, and the programming is changing, and we have to be very cautious of what's going on. We're breaking down the system. Yes, I feel it especially here in the U.S. The higher up you go, the greater the fall you have to experience. And the U.S. is in a state of a falling disaster, especially with the new president. My God. I go, yeah, but he's a good guy. What do you mean he's a good guy? He's just, I could go on with things. No, he's a good guy. Why? He's helping evolution. I go, what do you mean he's helping evolution? He's destroying the system so that we can build a new system. And that's not that his intention is, but that's the role he will be playing. He will break the system until people say, this is not what we want. And then take the power back and create what they want. And that's the evolutionary upheaval that is facing us at this moment right now.
Yeah, I feel with the new president we have to get a lot of popcorn because it's going to be interesting.
It's very exciting, but it depends on which side you're on. I'm observing it from the outside, going, "Well, that's pretty interesting. What's going on in that machine?" But if you're inside the machine and it's going on, it's like, "Holy crap! What the hell is going on?" And I'm out on the outside, going, "Wow, you guys don't see what the hell's going on." No, you're in it.
Yeah,
You can't see it from in it. You have to step outside and look back, and that's where we are. So. I really appreciate the time we've had together here, Sergey. You give me the opportunity to spread some information which I consider to be self-empowering information. I want you to have the power back. I want the people to have the power back. As I mentioned, I trust the collective population more than I trust the church, the government, or the corporations, because they're self-serving. They're looking for their survival, not for my survival.
Well, Bruce, I thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for your wisdom and everything. It was an amazing hour and a half we had here. I want to ask you, if people want to contact you, do they go to your website, brucelipton.com, or do you have something additional?
Yes, there's a direct way to contact, and everything we've talked about here, Sergey, is on that website. You can download it, whether it's audio, video, written articles, whatever. All of that is freely downloadable to back up what I'm talking about. And I just want people to recognize, I'm not talking New Age. I'm talking science, quantum physics, epigenetics. It's a new world. It's a new belief. It's a new knowledge. It's empowering knowledge. And this is why we're facing this crisis now, and how to get out of it is I want the average person to take their power back, because I trust them in that power. Because we basically all want the same thing. We want to be happy. We want a place to live. We want food. We want a job to do. We want it to be safe. I go, tell me who's not into that. And all of a sudden I say, well, if everybody started to follow that same path and get out of the manipulation from the higher authorities, then our evolution is going to be quite exciting, and I look forward to it.